My name is Margaret Turner. I'm 68 years old, and I've spent my whole life taking care of my family. My husband, Tom, passed away when our son Michael was just 11. From that day on, I promised myself I'd give him everything I could. Every night, I used to tuck him in and whisper, "Michael, promise me you'll always remember your mum." And he'd smile and say, "Mum, you're my best friend. I'll never forget you." Those words meant everything to me. Years later, Michael met a young woman named Jessica. She was beautiful, confident, and worked as a teacher. When he told me he wanted to marry her, I was thrilled. At their wedding, I cried happy tears. I thought, finally, my son has found someone who will love him just like I do. In the beginning, Jessica was kind. She called me Mom, asked for my recipes, and even came over to bake with me on Sundays. I truly believed I had gained a daughter, not lost a son. But slowly, things began to change. Whenever I offered advice, Jessica's voice grew sharp. If I said, "Honey, turn the heat down a bit," she'd reply, "Margaret, I know how to cook. You don't have to tell me everything." At first, I laughed it off, but I could feel her growing colder toward me. Then Michael started to change too. He'd come home tired, and instead of talking to me like he used to, he'd go straight upstairs to Jessica. When I'd ask to join them for dinner, he'd say, "Mum, not tonight." Jess and I need some time alone. That alone time turned into every night. When Jessica gave birth to their baby boy, Ethan, I thought everything would be okay again. The day I held him for the first time, my heart felt whole again. His tiny hand wrapped around my finger, and I whispered, "You're my little angel." Grandma's here. For a while, things felt right. Jessica let me babysit sometimes, and Michael seemed happy again, but soon Jessica started drawing lines again. She'd say, "Mum, please don't hold him too long," or "Please don't feed him that, it's not organic," or "He's sleeping, don't touch him right now." No matter what I did, it was wrong. I began spending most of my time alone in my room. From there, I could hear Ethan laughing downstairs. Sometimes I'd hear him call Grandma, and I'd smile through my tears because that little voice was the only thing keeping me alive inside. But Jessica never liked it when he called for me. She'd say, "Ethan, Grandma's busy right now." Busy doing what? Sitting alone? The house that once felt warm slowly became a place where I no longer belonged. When Ethan turned 5, they planned a big birthday party at their house. Balloons everywhere, cake, laughter, the smell of food. I was so excited. I baked my homemade apple pie, Michael's favourite since he was a boy, and wrapped a small toy train for Ethan. I put on my nicest dress and went downstairs. Jessica saw me and frowned. She said quietly, "Margaret, maybe you should stay upstairs for the party." I blinked in disbelief. "What do you mean?" I asked. She smiled politely and said, "There's not enough space. You'll be more comfortable upstairs," I said softly. "I'll just sit in the corner." "I want to see Ethan blow out his candles." Her smile faded. "Please, Margaret." "Don't make this difficult. You always make things awkward." The room fell silent. Everyone turned to look. I looked at my son and said quietly, "Michael, this is my grandson's birthday." He looked down. He didn't say a word. Jessica crossed her arms and said, "Please, go upstairs." That moment broke something inside me. I walked upstairs, packed a small bag with a few clothes, my Bible, and an old photo of Michael as a little boy. Then I left. No one stopped me. As I closed the door behind me, I heard the sound of children singing Happy Birthday inside, and I whispered to myself, "Goodbye, my boy." I walked to the church a few blocks away and sat on a bench outside. A kind woman named Linda found me crying. She brought me inside and said softly, "Sweetheart, God doesn't forget people who love deeply. You'll find peace again." I wanted to believe her. A year has passed since that day. I now live in a small senior home run by the church. It's quiet and peaceful. I take care of the garden, and sometimes the volunteers record our stories and post them online under a page called The Voices of Forgotten Mothers. People leave comments saying, "You sound just like my grandma." And for a brief moment, I feel seen again. But there isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about Michael and Ethan. I pray for them every night. That's all a mother can do. One afternoon, I was watering the garden when I heard a familiar voice shout, "Grandma! Grandma!" I turned around. There was Ethan running toward me with flowers in his hands. Behind him stood Michael, tears streaming down his face. He said, "Mum, I'm so sorry. I should have stopped her that day. Jessica left me. She said I was too attached to you." I held his face in my hands and said softly, "Shh, sweetheart. I already forgave you." He started crying harder. "I don't deserve that," he said, and I told him, "None of us do, but love doesn't keep score." Ethan tugged my sleeve and said, "Grandma, can we come see you every day?" I smiled through my tears and said, "That would make me the happiest grandma in the world." Now, every weekend, they visit. We bake cookies, watch old cartoons, and laugh together. Sometimes Ethan looks at me and says, "Grandma, when I grow up, I'll never let you be alone." And I believe him, because even though my heart was once shattered, it's healing, piece by piece, through love, forgiveness, and family. Sometimes the people we love the most break us the deepest. But God always sends someone, even a little child, to heal us again.